Hello. I wanted to make a video today about the relationship of happiness and the present moment. Most of the time, we think happiness is somehow in a distant future. Therefore, we work for that future. We plan some careers, or we want a new house, a new car, which we think will make us happy in the future. Or it can be a relationship. If I find the right person, the right man, the right woman, then I'll be happy in the future. So it's most of the time we think happiness is in the future. But is it so in reality? That is what I want to question today. I think happiness can only take place in this present moment. And the reason for that is I don't think that kind of a future exists at all. There are several reasons. One simple reason is we may not be able to live that long. That's a reality. And what is more important than that is there such a future? A future, psychological future, in which we think we will be happy. That's a psychological future. There is also a physical future, a chronological future, in which, for instance, 10 minutes later I'll end this video. That exists, that is real, that is chronological time. But a psychological future, a psychological time in which I plan to be happy, does that exist at all? That is the question I'm going to ask today. I think that future of psychological kind is an illusion. It doesn't exist. It is merely an escape of the mind from its own loneliness, suffering, unhappiness, and unfulfillment in this present moment into a illusionary future. So, time in that sense doesn't exist. It is like very interesting. We feel like we are in a movement from the past into the future. It's like we are in a train of time and we are moving towards a destination of future, and we come from the past. If we experience time like this, or if we perceive time like this, naturally the destination becomes important. Right? For instance, if I am going from San Francisco to a beautiful island in the Caribbean, then naturally the destination becomes very important. So, in the same way, if I feel like I'm on a train going into the future, if I perceive time this way, then future becomes most important. But this present moment where I am now in my journey will not have that much importance. But happiness is the journey in this present moment itself, not in a future destination. So, we must understand the time deep, the time concept. Because as long as we experience we are in a train moving towards the future, it's impossible to give enough importance to the present moment. Present moment doesn't match. We'll all be concerned about future because we think we are going to that future. And then that's a future I want to create in which I'll be happy. What if that future in the psychological sense doesn't exist at all? Then we live in an illusion, a total illusion. And I think this is at the very root of our unhappiness. Because our minds function this way. Because we perceive deep down we are in a movement into the future. But is it so? I think that movement is an illusion. There was 5 minutes ago when I started this video, chronologically. It is now, in this present moment, and there will be 5 minutes later, perhaps which I will end the video. Right? So there is a time distance in which I am speaking, which is real. So how is 5 minutes ago being connected to this moment and to 5 minutes later? That's the question. We think, our perception is, from 5 minutes ago we started this movement and we are moving into the future. Why is it so? Which means this means there is a time movement independent from the physical movement, which is moving from the past to the future. I think there is no such time movement independent from the physical movement in the universe. So the only time is my movement. I am speaking. That creates the time. My hand is moving. That creates the time. The universe is moving. That is time. Right? This is very important. Apart from this physical time of the physical movement of the objects, there is no other time which we perceive as a flow from the past into the future, the train of time. It doesn't exist. What exists is the movement, and that is time. My movement is always in the present moment. In this last 6 minutes, I am in the present moment. My movement, my speaking, my arm this movement is time. This is creating time. There is no other time apart from this physical movement, which is from the past to the future. When that time ends, when that train stops, the train of time, then I'm moving in the present moment. There is only present moment. There is nothing else. Then I begin to live in the present moment because the train stopped. I stop in this present moment. The train doesn't move anymore into the future. I'm in the present moment. I'm looking, I'm talking, and that creates time. The physical. But I'm always in the present moment. The train has permanently stopped in this present moment. There is only this present moment. And the moment in the present moment is the chronological time finished. That's it. So I'm always in the present moment. I'm not moving into the future. This is the only way to live in this present moment. And then one is happy. Just because one is alive, fully aware in the present moment. Life is only in the present moment. And to realize, to see the miracle of life and to be happy just because you're alive, not because of an object of anything that will make you happy, because then you'll be dependent, there'll be attachment. But just because you breathe, you're alive. You see the sun, the birds, the sky. You feel life. This perception can only take place when the train stops. When there is no movement anymore into the future, then you are left with the present moment. Nothing else. And then you're living in the present moment totally. And then you don't work for a future happiness. Because it doesn't exist. You are happy now anyway. You don't need that. You are fulfilled with life itself. Anything. Having a coffee, eating a nice food, watching, going into the sea, going for a hike like I'll do now. It's beautiful weather. Perfect. Live. So it's very important because our perception of time is a total illusion. It's like in the traffic, you sit in your car is not moving in a traffic jam, and all of a sudden the car next to you begins to move. And because movement is relative, you feel you are moving. In the same way, we feel we are on a train moving, time train moving to the future. We are not. We are in the present. From the day we were born, we are in the present moment only. This present moment is non-movement in terms of time, from the past into the future. Then we are puzzled, because if there is non-movement, how did this video started 5 minutes ago, and how are we here? Very simple. It is not because time is moving and bringing us back to this point from 5 minutes ago and going into the future. It is because I move physically, I talk, and time is being created. So time is dependent on movement, physical movement. Without physical movement, time doesn't exist. There is no absolute time, it's relative to the physical movement. So this is very important to understand. Then, what happens? Then stop thinking about a future happiness. It doesn't exist. It's psychological time. And as long as you are busy with a future happiness, how can you be happy totally now? It's always in the future, postpone, and who knows how long we will live? Nobody. So this is the only moment to be happy. And if I am not happy in this very moment, I'll never be happy. I'll never be happy in the sense if I am seeking this happiness in a future, project a happiness in a future time, saying I'll get this and that and I'll be happy. I'll find the right man and the right woman, all these stuff. It will never happen. No outer object will give us true happiness. Happiness must not depend on any object. Any man, any woman, any car, any house. As long as I have this healthy body, the food, clothes and shelter, a proper place to live, I must be happy. If I am not, then I'll never be happy. Nothing can make me happy. Impossible. Because I'll always be dependent on things. Right? You might be unhappy at this very present moment, and my talk might sound very meaningless to you, because how can I be happy? I am unhappy. Then work on your unhappiness in this present moment without projecting a happy future. You see the difference? Okay, I understand you might not be happy at this moment and nothing can change it. Sure. But don't escape from the unhappiness with an illusionary projection of happiness in the future. Then you will always live in that illusion all your life. You will never live in the present moment. So if you are unhappy, again, stay in this present moment with your unhappiness. Don't move away from this moment, this present moment, into an illusionary future distance in which you think you will be happy when you get certain things. Don't. Stop here. Stop the train. Be unhappy. Stay with your unhappiness here and now. If you totally stay with your unhappiness here and now, then that unhappiness will be transformed. So, be unhappy now, but watch now. Be aware now. Observe now. Question now. No escape into an illusionary future. That's the key. Okay? So this, I guess today is enough. Let's make this one short. Because the sun is beautiful outside. And let me go for a hiking, if you let me to do so. Thank you very much. And I'll make a few more videos these days, as somehow I feel the inspiration for that. Okay? See you. Bye.